So this is it. This is the final completed master grade Freedom Gundam, which took me quite a while to build, but this would be the last video about it. I'm glad that I shot all those series kind of documenting the process of building and customizing it. There are many things that were really intricate and kind of interesting to work with, and they are maybe not necessarily largely visible in this model when it's completed. The armor panel are covering many interesting elements of the frame, for example, and there are also some customizations. I followed the fellow called Ataku Builder on YouTube and tried to emulate the process that he did. I'm not nearly as proficient with my technique, but one thing I wanted to try is to install an LED kind of gimmick, the LED lights in the model to enhance the visual appeal. So that I used Evan Design LEDs in the head and in the backpack, and once everything was assembled, I ran the wire out of the backpack and onto the base here. I tried to conceal them in the shrink tube and then just tape the shrink tube to the base. Hopefully that doesn't look too intrusive. I think that's okay. I put a switch at the bottom of the base here, so if I turn it on, hopefully it will be visible, the lights come up in the head and in the backpack on the back of the unit there. This effect is actually more subtle than I was hoping for, which is okay. It was a relatively straightforward modification. There were some things to resolve in terms of running the wire outside of the unit. It's not designed to accommodate either the lights or the wire itself, but it worked out okay. It's not a major problem. I just had to cut the groove there for running the wire through, and overall it works fine. Thinking that I might need to put it in place by maybe a small piece of tape. So we'll see how it works. So hopefully this still works. We can at any point we can always check. They light up, right? So it still works. That's good. The main difficulty, well, something to take away, maybe lesson, was the LED lights. They work great. The Evan Design LEDs are very bright. One thing that I'm glad that I kind of built upon other people's experience is the paint inside of the head unit flat black so that the LED doesn't shine through the plastic. That's one thing. Another thing is when I glue the lights in place, it's important to use the accelerator component to the glue so that it cures instantly. Otherwise, it's impossible to correctly place them on the model. So basically, you put the glue, put the LED where you want it to be, and then touch that glue and the plastic parts that are already connected with the curing component, and it's all done at that time. So that's That's a good thing to remember. Overall, this the main, of course, customization was painting. So I used acrylics and airbrushed the armor panels, and I hand painted the inner frames, so to emulate this the raw steel effect on the components of the frame that I exposed. This unit, one of its features is that the hip joints can be articulated in several degrees of freedom, and people online, they warn that the joints are brittle. It worked fine in my case until the very final assembly stage, where I did break the pegs on both of the hips of this guy, so that I had to drill them out and then insert the shortened pegs into the places. And I did use some glue. The articulation is still there, it's still movable. I'm not going to attempt it right now because I'm not keen to reassemble it if it falls apart. But basically, I'm not intending to play with this as a toy, but I just wanted to preserve this kit's ability to move, because I think that's a nice feature. So anyway, it's pretty much out of the box built. I didn't customize any parts other than installing the lights and custom painting it. So the decals are also third party, because the kit comes with the sticker decals, and they are not really realistic. So I bought the water slides, and those look nice, I think. So that's it. I'm going to show the photos of before and after. I took time to photograph the kit when it was assembled but not painted, and then I took it apart and then spray painted everything. I think there is an improvement with painting. It looks less plasticky, and yeah, I'm happy with the result. Definitely made a few mistakes. It's even in the process of reassembly, when everything was already done and then broken down in parts, repainted, there were some questions in terms of how to put things back together, and I did a couple of them incorrectly, so I had to redo. But that's great. So I'm now working on a different kit, which is right here. It's the perfect grade Gundam 007 swords, and this is the plasticky view of the kit, right? So that's it's not painted, it's just pre-assembled, and I still need to put the weapons together and pose it. It's what I learned from the master grade is to take pictures of all stages of assembly, particularly with this one, when some things that are interesting, they kind of become permanently hidden. I'm not going to have half of it, for example, without armor panels to just show the inner frame. But in the process of building, the components were kind of neat. So yeah, I'm glad that I took time to shoot video and some photos along the way. I'm definitely going to carry it on with the future kits, and yeah, hopefully the photos themselves look okay. Also, as I mentioned before, with this kit, what I'm aiming for is kind of two mutually exclusive to some degree looks. I want it to look good from a distance, for example when it's standing on a shelf, and also reasonably well when it's photographed up close. And the details that of the model, they don't work equally well for this both kind of observation scales, scratches on the armor, and even some shading. If I were to optimize for one way of presentation or the other, I would do things differently. But I don't know, for my purposes, I like both. I like looking at the model when it's sitting on the shelf, and I also like taking pictures of it and maybe sharing them online or in video. So yeah, it would be good to know what else is possible. Fortunately, there are many resources online that we can refer to. So I'll see you later with the different model.